Over the past decade, we've installed over 50 fire alarm systems here in New York City, and the common problem I face with customers is them not understanding the 6 steps it takes to get their system approved. So in this video, I'm going to go over the 6 steps to help you understand how you can get your fire alarm system approved here in New York City. The first step you need to understand is the planning phase of your fire alarm project. When it comes to the planning phase, there are 3 steps you need to go through. You need to go through the fire alarm design phase, you need to go through the plan review phase, and you also need to go through the final inspection phase. When it comes to the fire alarm design, you need to have a licensed architect or a licensed professional engineer. They would need is the occupancy type of that classification of the building. What type of business is going to be in this building? Is it going to be medical? Is it going to be mercantile? We need to know what type of classification in order for the fire alarm engineer to design the proper fire alarm system for that particular classification. How you get that? You get that through the Schedule A applied by the Department of Buildings. Usually when these buildings first go up, the architect that's usually designing this will actually have some type of classification of what business is going to be in this building, whatever type of business is going to be. A lot of times, let's say if it's mercantile, we're going to be selling some type of product, whether it be clothing, or whether it be cell phones. We're going to be a retail store selling things to customers. So the fire alarm will be designed specifically for that particular classification. But if it's, let's say, a medical office where they have backup generators, then that fire alarm system will need to have a little bit more protection for that business. So depending on the classification, depend on how the engineer will design the fire alarm system. After we design the fire alarm system, we have to then fill out a TM1 application. This application is submitted to the fire department along with the fire alarm design, which is actual floor plans of where we're going to put each and every device. Fire alarm riser diagram, giving them a 1-line diagram of what's actually going in the building and what floors. The final thing along with supplying the TM1 and a riser diagram is an ACP5. Usually we will have to get an asbestos investigator for them to go out to the building, take samples to see if there's any asbestos in the building or to see if we can or cannot work in any particular area. After the engineer gather up all those documents, the final thing is to pay the fire department filing fees. Whatever those filing fees are is usually generated at the end of the process. Pay those filing fees. The engineer will then submit that paperwork to the fire department. Then the next step after that will be the plan review. Now, during the plan review process, this can take up to 24 weeks. You need to understand that you can actually expedite a job, but usually the fire department is trying to govern every building within the 5 boroughs. So you have one agency handling pretty much every building in the 5 boroughs. So it usually takes them anywhere between 20 to 24 weeks for them to get back to you if it's going to be disapproved or approved. If your drawings are disapproved, then you will have some comments. You will have to make some corrections. Maybe you don't have enough protection. Maybe the wire size was wrong. Whatever the indication is, the plan examiner will tell you what problem is. You make those corrections, then you resubmit your drawings for approval. Now, if your drawings get approved, then the next step after that will then be to get a project authorization. Once you get the project authorization, you are now able to install the fire alarm system. You will now need a licensed electrician and a licensed fire alarm company. Usually the submission of the fire alarm application is usually done by a fire alarm company and the engineer, and they will usually also have the electrician on board ready to go to install the system. Once we get the approved drawings and the project authorization, we are now legally able to do the installation of the fire alarm system.